Hello, I'm Don Phipps, Superintendent of the Caldwell County Schools, and I'll be your host today for this edition of Profiles. We have another exciting and informative program for you today. We have two different segments. We're going to begin with our conversation about the academically gifted program in our school system, as well as Governor's School. I have Amanda McLean and I have Traci Waters, who are members of our Caldwell County Schools team, that'll be joining me in segment one. And then we want you to stick with us and join us back for segment two. And Brian Moore, the President and CEO of the Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce, will be joining me. But we're going to get things started with segment one with two of our employees and team members. We're glad to have you here, Amanda McLean and Traci Waters. Just introduce yourselves in terms of your positions, your title, and roles and responsibilities, if you would, for the viewers.
Okay, I'm Traci Waters. I am the AIG coordinator for Caldwell County Schools. I monitor the program and the plans and the implementation of all of our AIG programs in the schools, and monitor the teaching, the specialists, and the placement of those teachers.
Okay.
And I'm Amanda McLean. I'm the AIG facilitator for the high schools. I serve all 6 of our high schools, the 3 traditional, the 2 non-traditional, and then the alternative high school. And I help with, assist with programs, with scheduling, Governor's School, a vast array of services that we offer for our high schools.
Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Well, thank you.
The academically gifted program through the years has had different names or acronyms. I remember gifted and talented and academically gifted and different things like that. What are the acronyms or the official language or words for the program today? What's the official name?
The official name is Academically Intellectually Gifted Program. We're a division of the Advanced Learning Department from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. And it has morphed over time and changed with different acronyms, gifted and talented, academically gifted. The academically intellectually gifted piece actually supports those social and emotional needs of the intellectually gifted child who scores very highly above and beyond testing standards.
How is a student identified to be in the program?
We have multiple criteria that we use to identify in the program. We have different pathways that we identify in. Students, we use a universal screener for the county, and then we also look at aptitude scores. We look at grades, teacher referrals, and gifted behavior rating scales that we use for our program to identify. Identification is left up to local county programs and plans, and our county has a plan in place with on file with the State Department, and that's how we identify our students based on those criteria in that plan.
And how many students do we currently have in the program?
In our program, we have approximately 1,300 based on the graduates that left last year, and then the new placements we're bringing in 3rd grade this year, 3rd and 4th grade. The percentage for the state's around 12% of the student population, so we fall just about right in there with the state.
In terms of services provided or opportunities provided to students, how does it benefit the students that are involved?
Students receive differentiated education plans, and in those plans we identify the strengths of the student, we identify the different types of teaching support that the teacher needs, plus the social and emotional needs that the student has. And when we use that differentiated education plan to guide the teacher in the classroom, but we also provide direct services in elementary school where the specialist pulls the child to her and teaches directly to the student. Middle school and high school also provide consultative services where we support the classroom regular teacher. And in those classrooms, the teacher sometimes pushes in, the AIG specialist pushes in and provides support and extensions in those classes.
And I think that's critical. We often hear about and we're aware of providing differentiated instruction for a student that may be struggling, but to think about a student who's on the other end of the continuum that's excelling and needs other opportunities, it's wonderful that we're providing those opportunities. How does that change a student in terms of their academic growth or their development or their exposure in terms of going through the types of things that happen with the differentiated activities?
Hopefully we see growth in both areas. We want to see growth academically, and we also want to see growth socially and emotionally, because lots of these children are already performing at a high level. So we need to take care of those needs that may be overlooked when they're trying to fit in with their colleagues and trying to fit in with their classroom normal routines, things that sometimes come easily for us to adapt to. They may have difficulty expressing those just because they are already excelling, and a lot of times they're quiet, and we have to be really in tune to what they need. So,
does the structure or offerings of the program look different at different grade levels?
it does. You have the direct services in elementary school where the students leave their homeroom teacher and go out with the specialist to extend that curriculum. And then in middle school, our specialists facilitate. We have one per middle school. They facilitate the entire school and meet the needs of those students who are either performing or have a potential to perform. Sometimes we have students who potentially have that chance to place in AIG, so we have a search data that we keep up with, and we meet with parents, and those parents help develop plans and just meet the needs of the students in whatever way we can.
Now, are there AIG teachers, and is there a special certification that they have to have?
Yes, there are AIG teachers. We have 9 AIG specialists in our county, and those specialists are spread out amongst the schools. And then we also have AIG licensed teachers in the schools that serve, especially middle school and high school, and they teach different levels of courses, honors courses, AP courses, things like that. And those teachers are licensed AIG. We have also a local endorsement for teachers who want to just teach gifted students in Caldwell County. And we've partnered with Northwest RESA to provide some of those regional and local endorsement opportunities. And that's been a very beneficial aspect to our program.
Well, it certainly is very comprehensive, and I think it's evidence that we're trying to meet the needs of all of our students.
It is. There are also 2 licensed pathways to go through. The teachers can either attend university courses, or they can take the praxis for the state of North Carolina to become a licensed teacher.
Very good. Amanda, talk to us a little bit about Governor's School. What is it? Just kind of a description for someone who may not be aware of it.
Okay, Governor's School was founded in 1963. It is the oldest residency program for gifted or advanced learners in the nation. We set the model, and so students will go and live on a campus. That students that qualify and are accepted will go and live on a campus for 5.5 weeks through the summer, so the mid of June till about the end of July, with a break in the middle. And they study contemporary aspects of the curriculum. They can go in 5 different areas academically: math, English, natural science, social science, and then foreign language. They have French and Spanish. And they live on campus, and so it's for juniors in North Carolina schools, and they kind of get a glimpse of what college life is going to be.
And what does the selection process involve, and is there a deadline?
Yes. Okay, the selection, they have to be a North Carolina resident in order to be apply to Governor's School. They must be either in a private or public school in North Carolina, and they must have a 92 percentile somewhere in their testing data. So I can look at EOCs, I can look at, we have a universal screener in the high school with the pre-ACT, and I can also evaluate the PSAT should students choose to take that test. And so once those qualifications are met, there's an application process. And actually for our county, it's a 2-step application selection. So we have a county committee that reads all of those essays and looks at all of those data points within the application itself. They choose, we can only send 10 to be evaluated at the state level, and we usually get between 40 to 60 applications a year. The county selection committee chooses 10, and then we send those on to the state for another state selection process.
And what is the date timeline when notification generally comes out?
We've already been meeting with students and letting them know that they've met qualifications, or vetting students based on their interest to make sure that they meet those qualifications. We've had parents information sessions. We've had a regional meeting. I've met with students in all of the high schools that qualify, and students are to fill out the application. All of that information is online at govschool.org, and you can just Google North Carolina Governor School. It comes right up, and the application process is listed out there. We will take applications in our county. The schools have to send the applications to us by the 30th of October, and then they will be selected, and we have them to DPI by the 15th of November.
And then students are notified around what time frame?
March.
Okay.
There's also, for the arts areas, there's auditions, and those take place in February down at Meredith College in Raleigh.
For a family or a student who may be interested, what would you say to them to encourage them in terms of feedback that you've heard from students who've gone through Governor School before?
Everyone that goes tells me that it's a life-changing experience, and they begrudge the fact that they only have one shot to get to go, and that's between their junior and senior year. They encourage. We usually have students come back and talk to students, and they very much are encouraging for them to at least apply through the process. It helps them navigate those waters for college applications and also scholarships just by going through that Governor School application process.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you both for joining me today and sharing information, and thank you for what you do every day for our students and our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We invite you to come back for segment 2, another exciting and informative segment. Mr. Brian Moore will be joining me from the Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce. I'll have him on the stage with me, and we'll be talking about partnerships and a new initiative that we have called One Caldwell. Please come back and join me. Welcome back. I have joining me on the set now Mr. Brian Moore, who's the President and CEO of the Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce. Brian, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
How long have you been in the role that you're in here in Caldwell County?
Been here for about 8 months now.
And I think about the work that you've done in 8 months, and I've been on the ground, I guess, for about 14 or 15, and we had an opportunity kind of to come in together.
Yes,
It's been an interesting merger of interesting ideas and initiatives that we have in place. Folks may not normally think about an educational entity, particularly K-12, and a Chamber of Commerce working together. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have 4 very specific platforms in the Chamber that we really want to focus on. Most people think of business, and we have a category called business to business. And then we have business to community, which is where we work on community events and the Blackberry Festival and different things like that. But we have a very important part, which is business to education, and how we tie in our members and our partners with the relationship with the school system as well as with the community college, and make our community much stronger through that partnership.
And that's I guess the thread or the piece that I want to spend some time talking with you today, and particularly about education. And one of my initiatives and the vision that I have is that we make sure that our students are aware of career opportunities and aware of things that exist within our community that they may not know about, or they may know a little bit about, and we want them to know more about. And we've tried to partner together with some activities between our work in the Chamber. And one of those is the One Caldwell. Can you talk about that a little bit? It's a youth leadership that's kind of merged and morphed into this program now that we have called One Caldwell.
It's very exciting. Between yourself and some of my predecessors with the Chamber of Commerce and our leadership and our board of directors last year was really formed the first opportunity for a group of 24 8th grade students from each of the 8th grade classes that we have in Caldwell County to be able to get out and experience the county in ways that no one else can actually see. And that program was launched last year and was extremely successful, and we had some great funding that helped to launch that program and make a good partnership between the Chamber and the school system. But it was a neat opportunity for kids to, at 8th grade, to really say, you know, I'm starting to question what I might want to do when I grow up. And those thoughts are starting to come. So the 8th graders were chosen on purpose, and a lot of thought was put into that. And they had an opportunity to go out into the community and visit with a lot of our members and discover jobs that might not necessarily be visible to them. You know, we always struggle with the fact that, well, maybe jobs have left us, but they really haven't. We may have gone through some difficult times in the past, but now it's an opportunity to look forward into the future, and there's some really good opportunities in the county.
And we strategically looked at middle school for a reason. And the reason for that was that we wanted to catch students before they were making their high school decisions, if they wanted to go to the Applied Sciences Academy or the early college or to one of our traditional high schools. But we also felt like if they had something that they were looking forward to in terms of a particular career, then the academic work and the things that they were doing in the classroom would be more meaningful and relevant. You feel like that's worthwhile?
It really is. And what's neat about the program is that it gets these students exposed to so many different levels, and whether they're going to just graduate from high school and then go into the workforce, or they're going to move into the community college or four-year school or beyond, each job and each business that we go to visit, we want to show these kids the multiple levels of opportunity that they have. So depending on what their path might be, and it's not just for kids that are going off to a four-year school, it's making sure that we are sharing those right paths right here at home. They don't have to go somewhere else to find these great opportunities to raise their family and stay in Caldwell County.
And we did 24 students last year. This year's a little bit different. I think we're doing 28 in one semester and 28 in another. Is that correct?
Yeah, I like our partnership, and you challenged us to grow.
Right.
And the opportunity to go from 24 students to 28 and then do a fall semester and a spring semester. We're getting hit 56 students this year. And it's great for not only the kids, but the parents and their families to say, you know what, Caldwell does care about them. And it's not just the school system, it's not the college system, it's everyone. We really do care. And we want to make sure that everyone feels home here in Caldwell County.
And we're going to circle back around and meet with these students again their junior year. And what are we going to do with them then?
Yeah, so that's a really neat component. The first class that we had last year graduated in March, and then they were able to move forward, and we'll touch base with them in the program in 2022. So it's September, this time period in 2022, we'll revisit with those kids to make sure that we're touching point with them on those next decisions, because in an 11th grade, we know, okay, we've planted some seeds. Where are they going to go next? Did those seeds help them? What have we learned from the kids? Because the students are going to help us learn how that program is going to go to the next level. And we'll hopefully guide them down that right road.
Now, who are the partners that are involved in this particular initiative?
So there are some incredible partners, not only between the Chamber of Commerce and the school system and the community college, because the great component of the community college with this program is that we take these students to a business, and then we try to show them what classwork might be available to them at the community college if they choose that route. So they're, the third part of the cog to make sure that this is really strong. But folks like Excella and our UNC Caldwell Memorial Hospital, Blue Ridge Energy, just to name a few, MDI, are organizations that are in the area that are exposing these students to so many different types of jobs. Bemis and Stollerton's Greer, just great organizations that give behind the scenes visits to their businesses to help open up their eyes to all the great opportunities that are available right here in Caldwell County.
Now, the name of the program has the acronym of ONE, O-N-E, which is, I know, Opportunities, Networking, and Education. And when you look at what we're providing to students, those three pieces really come into play.
Yeah, it was almost perfect. We looked at, we didn't want to confuse the program as just pure leadership, because we already have a great leadership program with the Chamber of Commerce. But we wanted to take it to the next level, and ONE was an acronym that just morphed itself into something perfect. We have a really cool logo that's been developed, which is really the hands of children in a tree to create the leaves, and there's the branches, and the area below it is us supporting them. So it's just beautiful, and it's a great program.
What other leadership programs is the Chamber involved in?
Well, this similar program that we have for the students is a much larger version, and you would say very sought after leadership Caldwell program that we operate through the Chamber. That is a cost to most businesses, and we operate this program for the students complimentary with support and funding from all three organizations and all the businesses that help support them. But Leadership Caldwell is a great program. It launches in September every year, and it goes for about 9 months, and we have a much deeper experience with many more businesses around the county, and it's a really good opportunity for about 24, 25 business leaders in the community to help grow and learn and become our future leaders down the road.
Well, I'm excited about the work that we're going to do together. I'm excited about the apprenticeship programs that we're working on, and
Yes.
there are lots of other partners and players that we have in the role of the superintendent of a school system. In public education today, we can't accomplish the goals that we have by doing it alone. And we have to be willing to leverage resources in the community and leverage expertise and all the things that are out there that other folks have. And we've got a wonderful community, as I'm sure you've realized moving into
Yes.
Caldwell County. How do you see the value of partnerships?
You know, Deborah Murray said it well. This is the year of partnerships. And we were sitting in a meeting, and you and myself and Dr. Porch were all together, and it was really an opportunity to be able to make those partnerships work. And there's so many partnerships to be had. And we look at all the programs and events that we have at the Chamber of Commerce, and we look at merging different organizations that have a like interest to be able to help them grow. And it's just exciting. We just held a partnership reception last week just on that whole subject of how do we tie folks in. But we don't just tie them together. We want to know what their mission is. We want to know what their objective is. Every organization that's a member of the Chamber of Commerce has different objectives of what they want to get out of it. If you're an organization like Chick-fil-A, you want to rely on the community. But if you're an organization like Bernhardt Furniture or Fairfield Chair, you don't necessarily rely on the community for sales of your product, but your employees they're involved in the community as well. So we want to make sure we look at every aspect, we partner the right organizations together, and we're here as that middleman to help make sure everyone comes together and is bound together.
Well, as you say, we're stronger together.
Yes.
And I'm grateful to have you as a partner and a friend,
Thank
and
you.
look forward to the many things that we can do together. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today. That concludes this edition of Profiles. We hope you'll join us for the next segment or show that we have. Thank you.